Good morning, and welcome to another of our video blogs. So today I want to follow up on what we talked about yesterday a little bit. So we talked about your money blueprint, and that's something that had been set up. Good morning, Babs. Something that had been set up since we were children, and it's been inbuilt into us. Whether we are a success or a failure is owned by that money blueprint. And unless you are prepared to change the way you fundamentally think about money, the chances of being successful are limited, and you really have to go back to the basics. But to start looking at how to adapt your mindset, I think the first thing I want to discuss today is around around how we are responsible. Each one of us individually is responsible for creating the exact level of our own financial success or failure, and that there is only you or me to blame for what we achieve or don't achieve. There's nobody else. It's up to us. We can look at all other aspects of what's going on around us, the economy, coronavirus, what the government's doing with anything. All of that is almost irrelevant when you consider that the exact same circumstances exist for everybody, and there are a good number of people that are being very successful today in exactly this environment, in exactly this economy. And if you're not, then you have to look inward, not outward. There's nobody to blame. There's nobody to there's nobody to blame. It's as simple as that. And there's nothing you can use to justify where you are. It's your activities, your actions, and that is all that is responsible for the level of success or failure we have today. And by understanding that principally, then we can start moving on to actually creating the environment that will lead to our success. So this is James Foster and Careers Matter. So how does that sort of work out then in terms of your we're principally Careers Matter is about how you are going to take your career to the next level, and that's where I really want to focus my entire presentation, if you like. I'm not here to exactly create a business environment or something like that for you. What I'm interested in is giving you the tools and the information that you need that will take your career to another level. So what is it exactly that we have to start to do in order to take our career forward, and acknowledge that it's only us that can do it, and it's our activity and action? The first thing then is really to sit back and take a long, hard look at where you are, what you're doing, and whether it's what you really want to be doing. Now, the principle here, or the start of this, is that there's something not right with where we are. We're not comfortable. We're not happy. We're not in exactly the place that we'd like to be right at this moment in time. If that's not the case, then fine. Then the next step is, if you're very happy with where you are, if you're very happy with how your career is going, then the next step in your career is to look at where you are now and where you want to get in the future, and simply plot the path to get there. But if you've got to change path, if you're on a path that's not there for you, or leading you the way you want to go, then you've got to have a look at where you are right at the moment and why that's not serving you, and understand what it is that you have to do to actually get yourself into the right position. And that all comes down initially to understanding what it is that you really want. And then once you've got that firmly grasped, firmly in your mind, so that you know what it is you really want to achieve, then you do the projection of, okay, so I'm here now, this is where I want to get to. How am I going to get there? What's the path? What are the steps that I've got to take? And then you have to take the action. So that's the practicality of it. But the very first thing that comes into this is, of course, having the mindset to do it, and that comes down to actually examining your own mindset right now. What do you think about yourself? And this is one of those sorts of moments when you have to sort of really look inwardly and consider how you regard who you are, where you are, etc., etc. And this isn't necessarily talking about what you've achieved and what you haven't achieved right now. It's really looking fundamentally at what your mindset is. What do you believe fundamentally about yourself? Yesterday we spoke about the money blueprint. The money blueprint, which is built up with us since we were children, and it comes back down to what we were taught as children, how our perception of success or failure was instilled in us, how we maybe look at money as not being a good thing. Many people don't look at that. There's something I was watching on telly yesterday that completely put that into my mind, and it eludes me at the moment, but it was quite a poignant moment, if you like. Good morning, Angela. It was quite a poignant moment when I looked at it and thought it's exactly what I was talking about earlier today, when the way that our success or failure, or the way we manage money, or the way we handled money, or the way we perceive money was being reported. And it was the whole of the sort of idea of money, and how that wealth is not, having wealth is not a good thing. And it was not literally being spoken of in that context, but it was almost like, well, if you've got money, you're okay, aren't you? As in there's something wrong if you've got money. What are you complaining at? And now it's coming back to my mind now. It was all to do with Black Lives Matter, and the perception of certain people being, shall we say, in a privileged position because they have money, and almost like that took away their right to have a voice. Which was an interesting concept, and obviously not true, but that mindset, that thought is instilled into us, and what we have to do first is reset our mindset, and that comes out to understanding what your story is, what you believe about yourself. What's the story you tell yourself about you, who you are, and what that means to you? So, for example, and if I take my case, I'm 64 years old. Yeah, I'm getting on. I've had moderate success in my life. I'm not going to say that I'm the most successful person ever. I've had a reasonable life up to date, and all the way through my life I've never really succeeded in getting to the point that I really wanted to get to. That's just a fact. I left school with no education, next to no education. I had a couple of O levels. That's back in the day when O levels were there rather than GCSEs, and I joined the Royal Navy. Now I had options at that time as to what I wanted to do, but I then started my education for real, and over the years I took my education from zero to having an HNC. Well, first off, it started with a City and Guilds full technical certificate. Then I went for an HNC, and then I got a full degree, and that was a relative level of success that I'd achieved. but it never really got me in my career to a point that I would consider I was an absolute success at. It was good. I had a good career. I've had a pretty reasonable existence, as it were, but I never got to what I would say was total success. My story is built around that. It's built around the reasons for that. The fact that I never perceived that myself as being anything more than what I was. And I subtly changed that story, so that now I don't look at things in anything like the same context. I don't hold myself back by what I have and haven't achieved in the past. It's what I can and will achieve in the future. Even at this age, there is no barrier to what you can achieve if you set your mind to doing it. So the story I talk about now is that actually I did turn what could be perceived as failure, educational failure, into complete success story. And rather than pick up the fact that I didn't quite make where I could have got to, but looking at what I have actually got, and that it is possible to achieve, and it is possible for me to reach certain goals. And I've run a business in recruitment for 17 years. And I've had that business at a good point several times, and then something. This is the excuses that you're not supposed to make. That recruitment went down rapidly because of the financial crash in 2008. It impacted everybody. It did impact everybody. There's no question about it. But some people really picked up and took off again. I managed to keep going. I never picked up and took off again. That's my old story. My new story is that doesn't matter anymore. What will matter is that I can take advantage of the situation as it picks up, and I will be there to take advantage of that and move both my career and my both my recruiting and my coaching services. Because I'm looking at creating multiple lines of revenue now, rather than just relying on one line of revenue, and take that to bring me out of the current, if you want to call it a recession. It's going to be a big depression by the time things get going. But the truth is, there's opportunity there, and the story I'm talking about now is I'm there, ready to take advantage of that opportunity. And my big business is geared up to be ready to go with it, and it is moving ahead even as we speak. Things are developing and are happening because I've got a different mindset to how I'm going to take it forward. And it's about building your story. It's about building a positive belief in yourself. It's about feeling that you can achieve and will achieve, rather than there's something holding you back. There's something stopping you from getting to the next level. You don't let the past hold on to you. You look at the past, you take the lessons from the past, and then you disregard it and move forward, because there is the past is our servant, not our master. Which so many of us look at the past and think that's what defines us. It's not. Those are the lessons that will help us to define ourselves going forward. The other thing not to do is to live in the future as well. You live in the present, but you have your goals in the future, aspirations in the future, and the present is about what you need to be doing to attain those goals and those aspirations. So if I want to take my business to a certain level, I'll tell you what my goal is. I'm 64 at the moment. By the time I'm 70, I want to have a sellable business. Or if it's not sellable, because sometimes the nature of recruitment is that it's difficult to sell, it has achieved a certain level of income that I've got, if you like, a sizable pension pot to take me into retirement, if that's what you want to call it. I never perceive of myself as retiring, by the way, whether I'm 64, 74, I won't look at myself as being a retiree. The only thing that will stop me is health. There's, I'm not, you know, I can remember the attitudes of my grandparents. This is way back in the 60s, where my grandfather was looking to the day that he retired at 65. From a career of however many years it was in the coal mine industry. And he did. He successfully retired, and he dug his garden for about another 4 and a bit years until he died at 69. So, you know, that's not what I'm looking forward to. I'm not looking to to putting my boots up and maybe going out into the garden and digging it occasionally. My if you like, my goals, my business goals and everything are going to be there continuously unless my health stops me from doing it, and that's the way that I'm perceiving things. Anyway, a little bit rambly in terms of where I've taken this at the moment, but the whole of the point of today's presentation is about understanding that there is nothing that we can blame, and there's no excuses for where we are. There's nothing that we can point to, and there's no point complaining about what we've got. It's there. It's what we've achieved ourselves, whether it's good or whether it's bad. And what we can do with that is down to what we can do with it ourselves, whether it's good or bad. And if you want to take yourself to another level, then you've got to plan yourself out of this and take the action. Most important, take the action that will get you out of it. We can help you with that. That is something that we can help you with. As a career consultancy, a career counselling service, one of the things that we can talk to you about is where you are, where you want to get to, and work with you to plot the course that's going to get you there, and give you the tools that are going to help you to get to that point, and work with you along the way to make sure that you maintain and keep that moving forward. And that you but that you start to attain your goals from this point, because that things move from now. What's your current situation? Where do you want to get to? What are the changes you've got to make to get you to that point? And put the plan in place that will help you get there, and put the plan in place that will help you get the capabilities to get there, etc., etc. That's what we can do that will help you to attain your goals, and to attain the life and career that you believe you deserve. In fact, not that you believe you deserve, but that you do deserve. There will be a link with this video, as always, that will allow you to book a 20-minute consultation with me, where we can talk through this and anything else that might help you to take your career to another level. This is James Foster, and Careers Matter.